What's up, y'all? And welcome to Not Gonna Lie. This is the newest podcast. It'll be the latest and the greatest podcast.
Definitely.
Featuring me. My name is Eli, but you can call me Fritz. And my man's here.
What's up? My name is Daniel, but you call me Dapper Dan, call me Mo, call me Mo Money, Demo, whatever you want to call me, you feel me? As long as it's one of those few names. But we're not here to talk about me. Here to talk about what's going on in sports culture.
Everything in sports culture is something that we're going to be talking about. If it relates to sports, then we're just going to be talking about it in general. One topic that has really been on our minds for quite some long time is just the super teams in the NBA, right? So, boom. Super teams, that's like something that we grew up on in a sense. Both of us being born in the 90s. The first super teams that we've known of was the Jordan era super teams that won the three-peat or whatever the case was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say Shaq and Kobe was a super team, even though it wasn't three people. Shaq counts as like three fucking people.
Yeah, Shaq was definitely like five players.
You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? So I agree with that. Right? It's like a super duo, but like a team because Shaq was like 8 people.
And then the Spurs is a super team that a lot of people don't talk about. The 05, 07 Spurs. The Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili.
You count Greg Popovich in that team too.
Greg Popovich is definitely a part of that super team. But it's like 2008 is really when the super teams became something of a fast.
Yeah, that's because we had the Boston Celtics come out and I don't even know. You know how that even came about? Paul Pierce didn't do any talking. That just kind of came about.
I guess it was Danny Ainge, the fucking evil genius that he is. Paul Pierce struggling in the playoffs. Like the Boston Celtics, if I'm not mistaken, before Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen came, they never made it past the second round.
Paul Pierce was struggling.
He was struggling like a motherfucker. But Ray Allen was a free agent that year.
Right.
KG, if I'm not mistaken, had about 2 years left on his contract. He was KG, man.
KG should have been left. Let's talk. We can talk about that. That's a whole other topic. KG done gave 10 years?
I think it was 10 or 12.
10 years about his career.
Because he was drafted in '95
as a teenager.
Facts.
And went to the Celtics. Closing his prime, basically. He wasn't even the same KG.
He was still balling though, but yeah, KG. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he realized that, you got to win a championship, and that wasn't going to happen out west. That wasn't going to happen with that Minnesota team. It should have happened if Stephon Marbury stayed on Minnesota. But bro, I'm telling you,
is
man.
Is Stephon Marbury the piece though?
Stephon Marbury is nice, bro.
He's nice, but was he the piece that takes you past, those Laker teams, those Spurs teams?
I feel like
the West is packed, bro.
I hear you, but I feel like if Stephon Marbury and Kevin Garnett was developed alongside each other, they could have been the probably second best 1-2 punch in the NBA.
I hear that.
After Shaq.
A good development next to each other probably could work. Because KG was a monster in his prime. I'm going to give him his credit for who he was.
That's a fact.
When he was doing his thing.
But back to the super teams thing. KG got traded. It was for Randy Gomes, Sebastian Telfair, a couple draft picks. Nothing really sticks out. He joined them. Then they signed Ray Allen. And then that was. I've never seen a team get assembled that quickly and win the championship that quickly.
And I feel like that was the best, it was an easy puzzle almost. It was all right, we plugged in a big, we had a wing, we had another wing that's even better shooter than the other.
Bunch of role players.
We got a young Rondo.
Yeah, Rondo was perfect for that.
He's just a pass first point guard.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the second year?
It might have been the second year. Yeah, and then boom, we got Coach Doc Rivers, who's one of the top 3 coaches.
A lot of people don't even know that Doc Rivers won Coach of the Year in 2001 with the Orlando Magic. That's a fun fact.
I did not know that. That's a good fact. I didn't even know that. But let's move on though, because we started with the Celtics when it really got prominent. I mean, I feel like that happened because the boom of social media and just more news outlets, taking charge. But also let's talk about the ones that
didn't
really work.
There was a super team prior to the Celtics in 2004 where Shaq, Kobe,
Karl
Malone, and Gary Payton all teamed up together and ended up losing to the the Detroit Pistons in 5 games in the NBA Finals. That team, just the names, bro.
A team like that should never lose to the Pistons because, I guarantee you, if I go to my little brother's like 19. If I go to my little brother and ask him like name the Pistons starting five, I guarantee you he would struggle. I guarantee you he's naming probably maybe Chauncey Billups.
Ben Wallace.
If that.
Afro, bro. You know,
not even, because kids don't know it. Ben Wallace is a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year winner. And kids don't know who Ben Wallace is, bro. I promise you. And that's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but that 04 team, man, I know it sucked to be a Los Angeles Lakers fan that time. And that loss, it was a domino effect to where Shaq went to Miami. And then, you know, shit just went left for the Lakers.
While we're still crapping on the Lakers, let's talk about when Dwight Howard went over there with Steve Nash.
Dwight Howard and Steve Nash game.
Yo, what the hell happened over there? Because you remember the time that happened.
Yeah.
How everybody was like, yo, that's not even fair.
Like how do you get Lakers, the Heat in the finals? That's what we were supposed to get. You know what I'm saying? But Steve Nash, he was, you know, past his prime a bit, but he still was able to bowl. And Dwight Howard was on the top of his game. So I felt like when Dwight Howard leading his team to the finals in 2009, and win the Defensive Player of the Year 3 times, leading the league rebound, like this nigga, a lot of people don't, like, they over here just trying to joke about him because of that whole like homosexual
because he hurt his butt.
Rumor and stuff.
You ain't never hurt your butt before? I haven't, but you ever hurt your butt before? You never fell before?
He broke his ass though.
He's tall. If you fall from that height, you gonna hurt your butt.
Nah, but it's like with that team, I remember actually recently watching a video of a Steve Nash interview. He was saying that it was a lot of like head bashing because Dwight Howard wanted to play by like back to the basket, to whereas the NBA was evolving with spreading the offense and picking up the pace. And, you know, with Dwight Howard not wanting to do that, that was just a wrench in their plans. And then Steve Nash got injured. I think it was his back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's like some vertebrae issue or some.
What was it? 15 games in the season?
Yeah.
And that was basically a career-ending injury.
Pretty much, because he came back. He tried to come back a couple times. He just ain't look right. I'm not gonna lie. I hate seeing the greats just
struggle,
just go out there and just don't look right. It bothered me. Like I like when people see people go out on like Dwayne Wade, just going out when you know it's time, you feel your body's going. I'm gonna go out. My last game's triple-double. I'm number 3. I'm out of here.
Fact, same with Kobe. Man, same with Kobe.
You feel me?
But another super team that didn't work out. Well, before we go to another team, I feel like that Lakers team really didn't work out because Kobe is so like headstrong and Dwight Howard is a bit of an. Well, from what I see, or from what the media perceives, it's like he's a bit soft in a sense, like emotionally.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those characters that like you gotta coddle him a little bit.
Yeah.
He's definitely not a guy you could really get. Like
he's probably not like that now, but
yeah, definitely younger Dwight Howard. I can see that. He was young, real young over there.
And you know, Kobe was just the
Kobe don't care who you are.
Fist. So that in itself it didn't work out. And Kobe actually got injured in that postseason, and Dwight Howard had to try and lead his team against the Spurs. That didn't work out.
Yeah, that was a done deal from jump.
And one more super team that comes to mind is the New York Knicks of 2017 with Carmelo Anthony, Amari Stoudemire, and Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and KP.
We still had Amari Stoudemire?
No. That's my mistake. It was KP, Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose.
You feel me? Yeah, and
Joe Canola.
We don't talk about Joe Canola. Yo, can we time out? We're gonna talk about how Phil Jackson just came in and just ruined everything that was going on. Yo, because even KP, I can't even give him thanks for at this point because it's like we don't have him anymore. Nope. So it's like, what are we gaining from that? We lost Mag. That's millions of dollars that we literally just put down the urinal.
We gained Franklin and Lakina.
I'm saying.
Don't. I didn't see Derrick Rose called Steve Mills a coon though. Not a coon, but basically Derrick Rose.
Who did he call a coon?
Steve Mills. It was like Steve Mills is always on some black man unity shit. He was like, just be yourself.
How was that being a coon?
Not Derrick Rose jacking. He was valid with it.
What?
I said he was fake.
I'm gonna hope that's misquoted and move along because D-Rose my man. Now
he didn't call him a coon, but he called him like a kiss ass basically.
Like a kiss ass for the players or a kiss ass for like
for black people, I guess. I don't know. He just felt like he was a phony.
I don't know. I can't be mad at a man. You know.
He put out. Read the article, man. He's putting out a book.
He's putting out a book, bro?
Yeah, Derrick Rose putting out a book.
I know.
I feel like they players putting out books.
That's gangster.
I don't even want. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna
read it. You know I love me some Derrick Rose.
No, you do.
Like that's my man. That's my favorite player, bro. Like,
yeah, you feel me?
But that Knicks super team.
It looked good on paper.
It looked amazing.
Better than it was in like. If you really thought about where the players were at the time, I knew that wasn't a championship squad. I was hoping for like something better than what we got. But it definitely, like, D Rose was still shaky on the knees.
But he had a good season for what it's worth.
No, yeah, he definitely averaged like 18 and 4, I think, still.
18 and 5-ish, yeah.
Yeah, whatever those numbers were, it's still great. And Melo was
doing Melo things.
Doing Melo to his best of his ability at that point.
KP was on the rise.
Yeah, but
they lost a lot of games in the buzzer.
Yeah, that looked very frustrating season. I remember that.
Lost by 5 points.
I watched a lot of those games, and I'm just like, yo, why can't we win? And that was why I'm like, it's because of the Knicks. That's just why we don't win.
I wish we at least made the postseason that season. Yeah, like, just the playoffs, that would have been cool.
Yeah, look good in the
yeah, man, it's just super team.
It's really a roll of the dice.
That's
true. Really a roll of the dice.
A lot of people they put names together thinking that it would work, but it's more than
that's the thing. That's why I remember I watched a Dwayne Wade interview with the Knuckleheads podcast, and he was like, it was supposed to be him, Bron, and D Rose in Chicago. They thought about that. They really thought about that. But like, it was like, wait, no, we all three need the ball.
Yeah.
How is that gonna work? And imagine that team that's not working out. Imagine LeBron, Derrick Rose, and D Wade not winning the chip.
I feel like that would have worked out.
I feel like
they tried in Cleveland.
Nigga.
They tried it.
I don't want to hear about
that Cleveland. That's another fake super team that didn't work. Thank you for reminding me.
They broke that joint up quick.
By the trade deadline.
They drove that joint so quick.
Yeah, D Rose, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Kevin Love, all on the same team.
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas.
Jay Crowder.
That's not a super team.
Nah, but they got role players though.
Yeah.
True. Bro, Jay Crowder's definitely because he went to Utah that same season.
Yeah, but we talking about super team. We talking about all-stars, you know.
True.
Jay Crowder. But that team, that was another team that didn't fucking work. It's more than names, man.
It's more than it's a lot of teams that tried it, but like on the low, but didn't really work out. But we're not gonna call them out. But y'all know who you are.
One hot topic that's been just all over the internet, all over the television this entire summer is Antonio Brown.
Yeah, man. If it's not his feet being burned from being in a cryotherapy machine with no footwear, if it's not the helmet, now it's like I don't want to play. You find the helmet, and then like what are we dealing with right now?
Honestly,
what are we dealing with?
With the whole Antonio Brown, like the way his career in Pittsburgh ended, it was real sour. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't play the last week.
Yeah,
and they needed that win to make the playoffs. I don't remember exactly why he didn't play that last week, but him and Big Ben Roethlisberger, the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were never good. That whole Pittsburgh Steelers season was extremely dysfunctional with Le'Veon Bell holding out, not playing the entire season.
It almost makes you forget about that.
So like that in itself was just crazy, and it's like to the point where Mike Tomlin, he was calling AB a diva, like AB calling Ben Roethlisberger like a snake, phony, all that type of shit. And it was bound to happen that he was going to leave.
Yeah, like the thing is like, all right, cool, we know you're going to leave, that's fine. But then like just everything that happened, like just with it, like just like you said, like just him and Ben just finding out that they were never really good like that. And then finding out like Tomlin didn't really like him like that.
Yeah, so
like it's crazy. And then everybody else in the roster, and like you got people like Ryan Clark that don't even play for the team no more. Talking about like a lot of stuff was just really sliding with AB, like just because he's that nice, which is something to be complimented. That you can be that trash of a person and still be complimented and still be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like acquiesced because you're that good.
Sadly, that's usually how it is. If you're really good at something, you can be an asshole to a lot of people, and they'll just turn blind eye to it, you know. But you know, with the way that ended, he ended up getting traded to the Oakland Raiders for a couple draft picks. Was it another player or was it draft picks?
Was it another player? I think it was. I'm not sure of the details right now, but it don't really matter.
Yeah, whatever the case was.
That's not the topic right now.
He goes to the Oakland Raiders. I'm assuming that this shit is going to be amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's their last season in Oakland. Derek Carr, he had a good season prior to last season. Last season was a little shaky. John Gruden, this is his second year. So there was a lot of just hype in Oakland. Especially, they ended up being picked for Hard Knocks, which is a show on HBO that follows them in training camp, it was like the perfect team. And it just never worked. Like,
and it's crazy because I really wish there was like at least one more week of Hard Knocks, because
just one more.
For anybody that doesn't know, Hard Knocks just follows the team during training camp and whatnot.
5 weeks.
Basically, it's 5 weeks of training camp, and basically, you know, the whole thing was just basically like John Gruden adjusting to his team, and then AB.
Not going with if you with me. Just inside joke.
but anyway.
Yeah, it's just like, no, you good. It's just like, just from week one with the whole feet thing. Like, it was like never-ending bullshit.
Quick, before I try to cut you off, how many plays did you actually see Antonio Brown play in the show? Like, he ran like 3 routes in that entire show.
He was running a couple practice routes, and complaining about his feet. First couple episodes.
My feet.
He said, "You want to see it?" That nigga's a psycho to me. I'm not, but that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, it was the feet thing, like you said. Then the next thing was the whole helmet grievance. For those who don't know, Antonio Brown has been wearing a specific helmet type since he was a rookie, and that helmet wasn't approved by the NFL.
It's old and it's trash now.
It's not safe.
It's trash.
And AB was like, fuck all that. Like, I'm wearing my helmet. He was being hard-headed, wasn't coming to practice, to the point where the nigga even said he was gonna retire, bro. Like, I knew he was blowing steam, like he was just bullshitting, but it's like, what are you saying?
Why are you saying that, bro? Like, why are you gonna retire because you can't wear a certain helmet? And they're talking about, I'm gonna sue the NFL if I get something happen to my head and I can't wear my helmet. I'm like, they're trying to help you. They're trying to help you. Like, you the one wearing a helmet that the next time you get hit in the back of the head, you gonna be out cold on the field.
So that was like, what, 2-3 weeks worth of drama.
Because he filed for a grievance 3 times, I think it was.
Lost 3 fucking times.
He lost all 3 times.
And
finally settles on a helmet.
Eventually he settled on a helmet.
And it was an ugly helmet too.
So. It was.
You all been.
And it seemed like, okay, the helmet grievance is good. His feet is healing up. Shit is about to be lit. He ended up traveling. They had a preseason game against the Green Bay Packers in Canada. I think it was Montreal. It was somewhere in Canada.
Winnipeg.
Yeah. Traveled with them to Winnipeg, you know what I'm saying? He seems like he's getting along with his teammates, this, that, and the third. The season's about to fucking start. And then shit just goes left again. Again.
Well, let's get even more current. Let's get to shits. Let's get more current. Yo, so we find out, we get to the season, we're thinking, you know what? AB's about to play. Everything's under the water, everything's good. Then what happens? We start seeing, you know, stories. AB just not being happy. AB being what AB's been for the past year.
So, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, the next thing that happened was him having a back and forth with the owner, or was it the general manager? It was general manager.
Yeah, Mike.
That was the next thing. So yeah, it went from, okay, the season's about to start, it's about to be good, to him calling the GM a cracker.
About to punch him in the face, I read. I'm like,
it was mad extra shit. Like, and this is the same GM that told AB 2 weeks prior, it's either you're all in or you're all out. After he said that, AB ended up coming to practice the next day, so it seemed like everything was Gucci, but
he seemed like he was all in.
Obviously, that wasn't the fucking case. So he does that. He ends up apologizing for it. He has a private apology in front of and his teammates and all that. Apparently, they all embraced, hugged, brother's family, all that.
And then I think the same night
he did a public one. No, he did a public apology as well.
Oh, he did do a public apology, right?
So 2 apologies, and then that same night, he ends up posting a video of a conversation between him and John Gruden. A private conversation about John Gruden saying how he's the most misunderstood person. And John Gruden's basically saying, like, I just want you to play football.
Like put all that behind you. We're trying to win games. We're trying to win a championship here.
And there was one thing that AB said that I was like, you know what? I hear him. He was like, I'm more than a football player. It's like, it's more than just football.
I get that. And I love that. But in this instance, he's making this, in my opinion, he's making this, like, bigger than what it is. Mm-hmm. Like, it was never supposed to be this serious. Like, cool, I get it, you want to play in your own helmet, cool, that's fine. Made a big deal about it, that's cool, you're that kind of guy. We can see by your hairstyles and mustaches and stuff, you're an eccentric, over-the-top guy. That's fine. But then we're going to take it to the fact that, like, every little word and every little comment. Like, we can't be, it's 2019, we can't be that, you know what I'm saying, on the edge about every single thing. Like, you gotta just, I don't want to say he was right in saying, just play football, but you gotta just play football at some point.
And it's like, that is where I feel like AB had a hidden agenda. The next thing that happens is he ends up getting fined for the shit that he says with his general manager, and due to that fine, his guaranteed money is voided. And after that, he's like, if I don't got no money, no guarantee, because basically he was going to be playing week by week. Basically, because the moment he gets hurt, it's over. So he was like, I'm never playing for the fucking Raiders. Me and this man, we texting like, yo, what's going on? This shit is crazy. It's like, it's always some new shit popping up.
Every day.
And then he ends up getting released. Like, I'm like, damn.
And then he gets released. And the thing in my mind is, I'm like, yo, watch the Patriots pick him up. But I didn't say it out loud because I'm like, yo, let me not put that into the atmosphere. I don't want to see Tom Brady win a 7th ring. The man is like 42. I don't want to see somebody 42 winning 7 rings. It's cool to think about, but who would see Tom Brady that often in the Super Bowl? Bro. I don't. And then what the hell happens?
He ends up going to the Patriots. And I feel like this is the NFL version of Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors.
Basically.
Except, the Patriots actually won the fucking Super Bowl last year. So let's just make it even worse. Like, this
might be worse.
He's top 3 best wide receivers in the world. And he's going to play with the greatest quarterback of all time.
After the greatest team of all time. With probably the greatest coach.
Nigga, that offense is going to be insane this year.
Because that offense is insane without him.
Julian Edelman, Josh Gordon, Antonio Brown, Tom Brady,
James White.
Come on, son.
Like, if you watch them play the Steelers just this Sunday night,
they
demolished them without AB. Without AB, 33-3 or 33?
33-3.
Yeah, I'm just like.
But it's like, this shit is going to be crazy. But it's like with Antonio Brown, another thing that just hit the airwaves yesterday is him being accused of rape. Apparently,
it's like, when do we get enough, Eli?
I don't know.
Like, when do we get
every fucking week is something with AB, bro.
Like, I'm about tired of saying AB. At this point, I'm about to say the ABCs because it's just like A, B, C, D, E.
Listen, man.
F, what the F? G, what the F, G? Like, you feel me? Like, I'm tired of it. But with that being said, we'll close the topic on AB.
Let's just hope that everything works out for this man. Like,
yeah, all this trouble, I hope it works out.
That's a fact.
All this trouble, it better be worth it.
But another thing that happened today, it's 9/11, 2019, by the way. Team USA
has also died. Now, this is nothing. Sorry, I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody that had lost anybody, but
Team USA
has passed away.
They did terrible. Like, and this was something that we anticipated would happen. I just didn't think it was going to happen so early. So basically, Team USA lost to France by 10 points in the quarterfinals of the FIBA World Cup.
Not the semis.
It was the lead too. They had the lead too.
They did have the lead. It was up by 8 points in going into the fourth quarter. Donovan Mitchell had 29 points, had a wonderful game, ended up not having any fucking points in the fourth quarter. Kemba Walker had the worst game of the World Cup.
And Frank Ntilikina was the French hero of the day. Frank Ntilikina, but I mean, he's on our Knicks.
I don't know.
8th pick in the 2017. And we should have got Dennis Smith Jr. And we got him anyway, and we lost KP. Knicks basketball.
But with that, it's like, Team USA, man, like, I thought they was going to lose to Serbia, because Serbia hasn't really.
I was going to say that Spain at least.
But it's just like, God damn.
I don't even think Tony Parker was on that team. Tony Parker
he retired.
Yeah, so he's not even on that France.
And, they had Nicolas Batum, Rudy Gobert, who was the defensive player of the year, Frank Ntilikina, whatever. Fuck that nigga. Evan Fournier.
I mean, it's a decent squad, but it's not a squad that should beat Team USA.
No team should beat Team USA, but this Team USA was garbage compared to every other team.
I have a question.
What's up?
Do you think we sent even our C team?
That was the C minus team.
That was definitely the C minus team.
That was the C minus team.
Borderline D, like the teacher had like mercy on you.
It was bad. Like, It was bad. You know
Chris
what I'm
Middleton
saying?
was their best player.
Nah, hell no. Donovan Mitchell was their best player.
Yeah, and then because Kemba ain't really play that well, and then Tatum got hurt.
Niggas thought the Boston Celtics was gonna save the world. They suck. Okay, they fucking suck. They had 4 Boston Celtics on the team. That shit didn't work out. They had Joe Harris, who was just a 3-point threat from the Nets, starting. They had Harrison Barnes starting. Like, this team had 3 All-Stars, and one of the All-Stars hasn't been an All-Star since 2011, and Brook Lopez. The other 2 All-Stars is Kemba Walker and Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton like a half All-Star. I don't even count Chris Middleton.
It's like the star power just wasn't there, and this is the first international loss in 86 games.
It's from 2006.
Since 2006, when they won the bronze medal in the 2006 games, and they're not even gonna medal this summer.
Like, as Team USA, as Americans, we have a lot of pride.
We do.
And I just want to say, I'm disgusted. I am absolutely disgusted. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I was at the point, honestly, when we was doing the USA trials, you know, that whole thing when we try and build a team, I was getting to the point where I was like, do we really want to send them over there? Like, we can't just not participate? That's not an option? We can't just not participate?
Nope, niggas had to do it, defend the champs.
Nah.
Niggas had Derek White.
That's what I'm saying.
Derek White was brought at the select team. The select team is basically the practice team that helps the official roster go and get ready for competition. This nigga made the team.
Most of this team was a select team,
you know
to be honest. Because I don't even see Chris Middleton making the regular team at his position.
It's probably not.
I don't see it. Like, in a world where we got, like, Bron is still out there, Curry's and Klay Thompsons and all these other guys that turned it down, I feel like the best player on this team kind of makes it in at the bottom of like the Olympic team. Like Donovan Mitchell probably makes it as like an 11th, 12th man on that USA Olympic roster.
And it just sucks because like USA is the creme de la creme of basketball in the world. You know what I mean? And just the fact that I understand it, but just the fact that a lot of players, they want us to focus more on the season instead of playing internationally. It just hurt. It hurt the roster. Like it was a depleted roster, man.
Yeah, like you said, I get it, but in the same vein, it's like y'all don't want some run over the summer. Like, come on, y'all want some run, Klay Thompson? Well, Klay Thompson's y'all want some run, Steph?
But I feel like it's just like the fact. Maybe I think it was a domino effect. I feel like maybe if, like, let's say hypothetically, Kevin Durant stayed in Golden State. And it wasn't like such an open season. Like anybody could win the championship next year or this coming season. So that was in a lot of people's heads. Like I have to get ready for the season. Fuck Team USA. Like I gotta get ready.
Yeah, because it's like it's a possibility.
Anybody can win.
It's a chance.
It's like eight to 10 teams that's contenders, like real contenders. So again, I understand, but it sucks. It sucks that USA.
Kuzma hurt his head. He's like, yes.
Immediately.
Bring it back to the Lakers facility. Bring it back to the Lakers facility.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I know if USA puts their best 12 guys, we're gonna win the fucking championship. Like, there's no team.
Put our best 12 guys, I don't see any team coming within 15, 20 points of us in any win.
Maybe the closest would probably be Canada and Australia at full strength because they have really strong teams.
I feel like Serbia might be on the latter end, maybe in the, because they have just certain players that like could give the USA team.
No, boy. That USA, like when the USA team
at full strength. Because I mean,
next time we're gonna see them in full strength.
Shit.
I don't know, because Bron is iffy on playing.
Never gonna do it again.
The Olympics is next year, right?
Next year?
Yeah, it's been. I think it's been forever.
I don't think Bron will do it.
He's never gonna do it again. You heard it here first.
It's over. It's over. He don't need to do it. Like,
you don't.
He's been a part of the Olympic team since 2004. Like,
I mean, we're gonna send a lot of new guys over there, but we definitely our 12 or whatever 15 man roster, however much we send over there, it's definitely smoking anybody else.
And it just sucks because like it wasn't even like. I remember in 2010, after they won the championship in 2008 with the Redeem team, that young team that they had sent to Turkey, they had Derrick Rose, they had Russell Westbrook, they had James Harden, they had Kevin Love.
I think Steph was on that, right?
Stephen Curry. Like, it was a young crop of future stars. The only future star niggas had on this team was Donovan Mitchell. Like, that sucks. That sucks, bro. But, now, since we're talking about international basketball, one thing that comes to mind is high school kids deciding to go the international route instead of going to college. How do you feel about that personally?
I kind of like it. I mean, this might be biased because of how I feel about college in general, but I definitely like it because one, it's different. I like people that just try and do different things. And two, it's just like, I feel like it gets you more ready. Like, look at all the foreign players that come in, like a Luka Doncic that just came in, ready to ball because he played professionally before he got to the actual, plateau.
Yeah, that's a fact. But Luka, he's a special case. He's been playing professionally since he was like 16. But I get what you mean.
True, but like I feel like other players come in a little more seasoned, a little more ready, just a little less learning curves, less bumps. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going to college where like it's a one and done. You go in there. The coach really not coaching you. Like I'm a big proponent. I don't think John Calipari is that good of a coach.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think that he does good recruiting and that team does well based off the talent that he has there. But other than that, I don't really see him as that great coach. I just feel like he grabs a bunch of guys because I think Kentucky is up there. I think they might be one or two in getting people in the league. And I just don't see.
Yeah, there's a lot of UK people.
Yeah, like Anthony Towns and the Cauley Steins and
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis.
But instead of going to the UK, maybe now they can go to the UK.
But there's not really a
But I'm talking about the experience though. Like not even going to college, but
but I'm saying like
the country, you make some money. You know what I mean?
But it's not really like in terms of basketball. It's not a strong basketball country or city.
No, not even just London though. Generally speaking, like instead of going to university, you go somewhere else.
Yeah. And I believe in that. Like that's why I'm fans of. I'm a huge fan. Y'all sees across the time we do the show of LaMelo Ball.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he is next up. I'm willing to bank on that.
Sidebar: the man behind the camera, the man who's making this all possible, is my man Fresco Fredo.
The GOAT.
But yeah, with LaMelo Ball, man. For those who don't know who LaMelo Ball is, he is the youngest of the Ball family brothers. The middle child being Jello, and the oldest being Lonzo, who's the starting point guard for the New Orleans Pelicans. I feel like he's going to be the most talented.
I think he already is the most talented. The question is, will he play some defense? That's literally, and the thing is, it's not, I don't blame him as much as I do anymore because I think that's just a young kid thing. I feel like we're just so focused on offense because we live in like social media world, like everything's just on highlight,
the buckets.
And like getting on overtime, getting on house of highlights, things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm watching Melo pull up from 40 feet for the three in the swish. I'm watching that. I'm not really here for Melo locking down whoever.
The man is like 6'7". If he actually, and he said it himself, if he put his real time and effort in defense, then nobody's going to score on him. I hope that's, you know what I'm saying, he keep that energy, because Lonzo Ball is one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA.
Definitely, and I feel like he doesn't get his credit either.
He does not. But with LaMelo, he wanted to go to college. He wanted to go to college. Nigga went to UCLA, USC. Like, he was talking about it. They had their own show, Ball in the Family, on Facebook. Like, he was talking about wanting to go to college, but it wasn't realistic because NCAA, they're money hungry. They feel like if you play it professionally in any sport, then you can't play for them. And I feel like they just didn't want.
Basically, can't get paid, period, and play for them.
If you get paid at all prior to going to NCAA, you can't go to NCAA, which is a stupid fucking rule. Like,
let me make my bread. Y'all not paying me, and I gotta go to school here. Like, hello.
And I guess they didn't want that because Melo is such a big name, and that the ball last name is such a big name in terms of basketball that they had allowed him. If he had been able to be in the NCAA, then it would just been just a crazy domino effect of just like media and just backlash.
True.
I just feel like they shouldn't be so goddamn greedy. Like, you know, I would have loved to see Melo in the fucking NCAA tournament, March Madness. Like, that's must-see TV, bro. Like, not even on some dick riding shit, that's must-see TV. He's a great basketball player.
But you just speak about the NCAA, you know, we just talk about, you know, paying them. Like, and here's my take on it. I'm all for paying them, completely here for paying them. I just want to know how it would break down. Mm-hmm. Because, let's take it back to last season. You can't pay Zion what Jordan Goldwire was given on Duke. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't equate.
Like how would they break that down?
Exactly. How do you break down, who gets what, how, and then with that being said, does that what makes that different than being a pro at that point? Which, you know what I'm saying? And like, because basically would colleges become another league basically in itself? Like could the NCAA just have to become another league?
What I would suggest is paying them would make sense, but and when you bring that up, the thing that makes sense to me is allowing them to get endorsements. Like, let them make money from something else.
That's probably the best way to do it.
Why would you not allow a 18-year-old who may not come from a family who has it?
Majority don't come.
Majority don't.
Majority of the league players don't.
Like, why wouldn't you allow him to make money on the side legally? You know what I mean? Like, using his talent. Like, you're using his talent to make billions of his or her talent making billions of dollars, while this student is.
It's not just basketball, football,
every sport.
Every sport.
Like, it doesn't make sense. I feel like endorsements would make the most sense. Like, allowing them to get endorsements, allowing them to get that money on the side, like, just so they can be good. And sometimes, like, those players don't make it to the league.
Exactly. So all that work they put in, all these hours, like, I just feel like you should be compensated in some way for that. Like, you can't just like harbor, because like my brother's a NCAA athlete, albeit D3, but you know what I'm saying? He puts in hours into playing football, like hours a day, when they're waking up 6 in the morning to go work out, lift, run, whatever the case may be. Like, they're not living a regular college student life, and then they have to, on top of that, be a student, like a student athlete.
Sustain a specific GPA.
And then we want to call out all these scandals, and people then wonder why they got people doing their work for them, and then they got, on top of that, in the NBA, they got the stupid one and done rule anyway. Like, they only said they barely doing a semester. But Ben Simmons went a semester.
And a lot of these basketball players that go a semester, they don't even go to class. Like, I've had people that have gone to college with college athletes, they don't go to class. Like, we had a friend that went to school with Andrew Wiggins in 2013,
right,
in Kansas. Like, the niggas don't go to class, they just try to fucking just play basketball, football, whatever the case is, and make it to the NFL. But it's like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, you just gotta put some money in their pocket, bro. And it's like with the NFL in particular, you can't go into the league until you're after your junior year.
No, I think you have to play 2 seasons. I think it is.
I think it's 2 seasons.
No, because in the NFL.
I think it's 3. Because Trevor Lawrence, the starting quarterback for Clemson, if I'm not mistaken, I read something stating that he has to wait another year after this year.
I mean, I don't know, because didn't he get hurt last year?
If you had a redshirt season, I don't think it counts.
Yeah, redshirt.
They won a championship.
I just know that you can't do one. I just know that you can't do one and done. In baseball, you can't go until your 3rd year in college.
3rd year?
So you can either go right after high school, or you can go to college, but you got to do 3 years of college.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 years, but that's the name of the starting quarterback for Clemson.
Yeah, it is. That's him.
Yeah, they won the championship, bro. He dominated to the point where people said that if he had entered the NFL draft last year, he would have been the number 1 pick. The motherfucker has to wait 2 more years.
Okay, so the official rules is to be eligible for the draft, players must have been out of high school for at least 3 years and must have used up their college eligibility before the start of the next college football season.
So junior year. So imagine you being a star football player your entire years in high school. You have a fucking superstar season like Trevor Lawrence, for instance, who you win a national championship. You're projected to go number 1, but you have to wait 2 more years. God forbid he gets injured this season.
Especially in a football, that is like the worst thing. Like, football is, that's why I'm not mad at anybody in the NFL trying to get their bread. Like, I'm not mad at Melvin Gordon, none of them holding out, because football type of sport, it could be over the first play. People have season-ending injuries week 1. Mm-hmm. Like, it can really be over after 1 play.
Unfortunately, the NFL doesn't have other ways to go to another league or make money the same way the NBA or basketball has. With college or high school athletes, they can go to the G League, which is one option, and they can go overseas. Well, LaMelo Ball and R.J. Hampton being the 2 main names going to the NBL in Australia.
Some people just don't go, like Mitch Robinson.
Another person, and there was I forgot his name. He got drafted by the Thunder. He actually
Darius Baisley.
Yeah, Darius Baisley. He did an internship for New Balance for $1 million. He got $1 million, and he still got drafted 23rd overall. You know what I mean? It just, we need more options for kids to make money.
And salute to those that have found ways to like get around it, like creative ways like that. Like shout out to Darius Mays is with Rich Paul, right?
Yeah, Rich Paul.
Yeah, shout out to Rich Paul, bro. Like Rich Paul is
he's
the
for
man.
the advancement of black people.
Like Rich Paul, LeBron, that whole clique, Mav Carter, all of them. That's a great. I need to find a way to get in there.
They getting money.
I need to find a way to get in there.
You know, but I just hope that RJ and LaMelo have amazing seasons. They get drafted very high, and they're gonna set the tone for a lot of younger people. Let's just hope that it works out for them, man. And one thing that a lot of people forget to mention is Brandon Jennings was one of the first people to do that.
Right.
He went to Italy.
Definitely did.
After having an amazing high school career.
It was just so not the popular thing to do. We kind of brushed it under the side, like it was weird. But now it's like I see why he did that.
And somebody as big as R.J. Hampton and LaMelo Ball doing it now, I feel like it's gonna be a trend eventually. Let's just hope that it works, man.
So quick, LaMelo Ball lottery pick?
Absolutely.
Easily, right?
Absolutely. Easily. As well as R.J.
All right, well, I think it's time to wrap it up a little bit.
Yeah, man. Yo, this was our first episode of Not Gonna Lie. You know what I mean?
And I'm not gonna lie, I had fun.
It was a great episode, man. You know, we're gonna be back. We're gonna always, give y'all the best content, sports-related content. We're gonna talk about any type of topics. If there's topics that you want us to talk about, give us suggestions. We'll touch on anything that,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Fredo will leave our IG handles, Twitter handles. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll be back for episode 2.